confession that turned into a nightmare. What was supposed to be a secret was used as a blackmail tool. 5 priests of a church in Kerala allegedly used a woman's confession in church to blackmail her. The price for their silence?
The local media channel took up this case, and then the 5 priests was suspended from the diocese, from the Malankara diocese, after this particular person filed a complaint with the church authority.
The lady's husband took the matter to the church, who instead of filing a police complaint, merely suspended the priests. The husband is now alleging inaction on part of the church.
സഭയിലെ മെത്രാപ്പോലിത്തയ്ക്ക് പരാതി കൊടുത്തതിന് ശേഷവും സഭയിൽ നിന്ന് എന്തെങ്കിലും നടപടികൾ ഉണ്ടാകും എന്നുള്ള രീതിയിലാണ് ഞാൻ വെയിറ്റ് ചെയ്തിരുന്നത്. അവർ പറഞ്ഞ കാലാവധി കഴിഞ്ഞിട്ടും ഒരു നടപടി ഉണ്ടാകാത്ത സാഹചര്യത്തിൽ വികാരിയച്ഛനോട് പറയുകയും വികാരിയച്ഛൻ അരമന അന്വേഷിച്ച് തിരിച്ചു വിളിച്ചിട്ട് പറഞ്ഞു കമ്മീഷനെ നിയോഗിച്ചിട്ടുണ്ടെന്നും കമ്മീഷന്റെ കാലാവധി തീരുന്നതിനകം തന്നെ ഒരു നടപടി ഉണ്ടാകും എന്നുള്ള കാര്യവും എന്നെ അറിയിച്ചു.
The church on its part has a statement saying an impartial probe will be conducted. Even as the family awaits action, Mirror now asks, why is the church attempting to play police and judge? Why not register an FIR? Why isn't the state taking suo motu cognizance and registering a case? Why is the state reluctant to act against religious institutions? Let's debate.
Good evening. Good to have you with us here on Urban Debate. Sexual abuse scandals linked to the clergy, linked to religious leaders and men of God. Such scandals are not new. Somehow, it is still a big task in any part of our world to still get justice, to still get the authorities to respond, for the religious institutions to accept that this may have happened. And that is what, as a trend, as a problem, must stop. Tonight we have another example, this one from Kerala. A man has spoken out about sexual abuse that his wife allegedly faced by 5 different priests at different points in time. What makes this case even more horrifying is that the woman's confession was allegedly used to blackmail her and demand sexual favors. She was feeling bad about something. She felt she had sinned. She went to confess, and at that point, at a most vulnerable point in life, she was taken advantage of by someone who she had the most faith in. And then allegedly, more priests were roped in who did the same. Now, this is what the husband is claiming. We don't know for sure, and I wonder if we will ever know for sure. There is no police complaint. The church is carrying out an internal probe for the past month and a half, and the victim's husband insists that only the church does justice. Though he does say that the church is delaying action and goes on to continue with its investigation with nothing concrete being done. Suspension of these priests, he says, isn't enough. They should be thrown out. Can the state step in and take cognizance of this issue and investigate? Why are we as a society so scared and edgy when it comes to allegations of serious sexual crimes against the clergy? In Delhi, the police is treading carefully in the Dati Maharaj case, a so-called self-styled godman who's also been accused of rape. The police is yet to arrest him and is still verifying the facts. In Tiruvalla, police is yet to step in. Why? That's the question we're asking tonight. Joining us, Rahul Ishwar, author and activist. Shamina Shafiq, ex-member of the National Commission for Women, also secretary for the All India Mahila Congress. Jayman Andrews, advocate with the Supreme Court. K. Narayana, National Secretary for CPI, Mega Warrior, correspondent with the News Minute, who's done a detailed piece on this story. Kevin Matthew Sunny, member of the Kerala Christian Forum. And Reverend Sunil Solomon, he's a priest in charge with the Christ Church in Noida. I would just want to go to Mega first. to get some more facts about this case, what we know, what we would hope that investigation reveals, Megha. In this case, what I thought was the most concerning fact is that this woman allegedly went to confess about a priest who had sexually abused her before marriage, and another priest used that to blackmail her.
That's right, that's right. So the most horrifying fact about this crime is that it has taken so long for it to be reported. So from the church sources tell us that the husband filed a written complaint to the church way back in March. So there was an audio clip that was circulating on social media which the husband has confirmed that that it belongs to him. So in the audio he says that he found out about this and his wife confided in him about the abuse way back in February. Now a complaint gets filed to the church authorities a month later. 2 months later, they took more than 2 months to actually verify, to look into the complaint and take any action. Now, can we call this an action at all is another question, because contrary to what is being reported that the 5 accused priests have been suspended, that's not quite true. So I spoke to one of the senior members of the church today, who confirmed that the accused priests were actually asked to go on leave. So they were asked to go on leave. This was not even a punishment, or this, we cannot call this a suspension at all. Can we call this an action? I doubt. They've been asked to go on leave.
Oh, when was this action taken? Would you know that? Were you able to find out when were these priests told to go on leave?
This was not more than, it was in the last couple of days that the priests have been asked to go on leave. Now, immediately after the husband filed a written complaint with the church officials say that they did not sit on the complaint. They say that they acted on the complaint immediately and that they formed an internal inquiry committee. So as far as the news minute has been told, and a primary investigation, a primary inquiry within the church has already taken place, after which the 5 accused priests were asked to go on leave. Now, what are the findings of this primary inquiry? We do not know. But then the church maintains that this is the best that they could do at this possible time, that sending the accused priests on leave. That's all they could do at this point of time.
All right, Megha, stay on with us. I'm going to keep coming back to you because you've done a detailed research and reportage on it. Let me take this point across to some of our other panelists. And I want to start with Kevin Matthew. Kevin Matthew, do you think that the church should get the police involved, should actually officially file a complaint, or perhaps the victim's husband should be convinced that it is the police who can do a proper, fair, professional investigation?
See, what is between the police and the law of the land and the husband is between the police and the authority, the government and the courts in here. It is not the church's duty to, file a complaint and take on legal proceedings. Church has its own proceedings and it will follow it. But also, like as Pope said, Jesus was born in a barn obeying civil law, and Jesus died at the hand of Romans obeying civil law. So the law of the land has to take its course. But it is not the church, but it is the police, it is the government, it is the court, and it is the husband. And all the aggrieved parties that has to take it to the court and to the legal side, not the church. The church has to do its own, take its own course, which I believe they have been doing. And even though you could call it articulation, suspension, or asking to go on leave as articulation, basically the church has already taken its course of action.
So
and
how long do you think?
With further details when the investigation report of...
Okay, so how long do you think the church should take to carry out its own internal investigation? And what action can we expect if the church's committee indeed finds these priests guilty of the allegations?
See, madam, that is for the committee to decide. That is not for us to decide. See, once a decision comes out, once more information comes out, let us debate on the merits and demerits of it. But now at least the church is in a corrective position. It is acknowledged it. It is taking its own course of action. And when you say 2 months for the action to come in, the husband took 1 month to report it. So 2 months is not a big time in India.
Okay, all right.
So
Let us
get more information on the report.
No, so here is my point, which is what I was saying, that we don't know when will we get any information, because I'm not too sure if church is going to share the details of that committee's findings, and if the police and the state is not involved, then there is no official who is going to come and tell us what has happened here. Let me see if I can go across to Rahul Ishwar. Rahul Ishwar, do you think more needs to be done, that the police can take suo motu cognizance in this matter and step in?
See, the law of the land is supreme. I am a right-leaning person. We are, in very great friendship with different Christian churches and community. Having said that, the national law or Indian law is more important, and we have things like Vishaga guidelines. Many Supreme Court rulings are there. So the law of the land is very important, and Indian Christian churches, especially, you should remember, Kerala is the home to the ancient-most church in the world, not in India, in the one of the ancient-most church in the world. They have been very cordial. So I hope they will take the right action. But let us understand, it is a bit touchy matter. I have been involved in solving such issues inside the Hindu community, so it's a bit touchy matter when priests are involved, when religious figures are there, when spiritual issue is there. We cannot see this alone from a feminist perspective. We have to see it in a much more broader perspective. We have to be sensitive. Some kind of understanding of the depth of the issue is needed. So we should take it slow, but ultimately these people should be punished if this information out in the public domain is true. And I welcome Sri Kevin's statement, because ultimately, like he said, Pope said, even Jesus obeyed the civil law in his birth and death, is something we all should follow. I think church has taken, the stand is correct. I hope a police or court can take forward with a suo motu action if there is an accusation of rape or another serious kind of things are there.
So Mr. Narayana, what is your view? You are the National Secretary for CPI. Do you believe that the government and the state police should take suo motu cognizance? Because every time we see, whenever there are sexual crime allegations against the clergy, irrespective of the religion, the state suddenly goes a little quiet, is very careful, treads very carefully. In many cases, we've seen, especially in North India in the recent past, that they have actually indirectly given protection or sided, favored with those who are accused. What is the state government stand here?
Himself has given a complaint, and March, April, May, so 3 months. So police immediately they should have acted it. Now they are acting. But the question is the church, the Malankara church. They may take, they sent out that culprits. But the sexual harassment being made in the churches means there is technically they are taking action and sending them out. It is not enough. What are the conditions? In that, the church administration also should take care, and the government and police department also. They should not be hesitate to take action because there is a religious institution and there is a religious environment is there.
So do you think Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan should ask the Kerala police to immediately take suo motu cognizance of this matter and start investigating it?
No, actually, husband has given us a report.
But the husband hasn't gone to the police. The husband hasn't gone to the police, sir. The husband has given a complaint to the church. The husband, and I will just read out some of what he said today. He says he wants justice, so he is going to proceed with the case, but he has full faith in the Orthodox Sabha. He also doesn't understand why the church is going so slow. He says the investigation commission called me on June 22nd when I filed complaint long back on May 7th. I inquired about the delay. They told me that they were given the order only in the first week of June. So he is also wondering why the church pro panel is going so slowly, but he's not gone to the police. My concern is that the church should ideally be advising him to do that. The government should ideally be telling the police to take up the case themselves. That is not happening, and that is my question to you.
I'm also finding fault with the church management. But churches, immediately they should have gone to not only the internal punishment, they should have handed over to the police department also. But they should not object it. And ultimately, law should take place. And the chief priest is not supposed to oppose it. He is given a statement also. Now, police should act. Chief assembly, there is some delicate problem. Let religious institutions, let the religious institutions come forward. They take action, not only action, they should inform the police department also to take action.
Okay, so let me take that point across to Reverend Sunil Solomon and ask Reverend, Reverend, do you believe, firstly, what is the procedure which is followed by any church and the institution itself when such a serious complaint is made? In this case, the complaint seems to be against 5 different priests, and it's very serious. This woman allegedly went to confess, and somebody made use of that confession to blackmail her and threaten her into sexual favors, and this all went on for days together. What is ideally the process that the church should be following here?
See, every church has a very strict discipline. Priests must know when they join the ministry what is expected of them. And I'm sure these priests who are now accused of whatever they have done know the consequences. And I believe the church has already, as whatever brief I got, is that they have already constituted a committee which will inquire. But I don't feel that this is the case for the church to handle. Since the husband has complained, woman has also complained, it's in the area of the police to take action. I don't think it's much left for the church. Church's duty is now to hand over these people, but after the inquiry is over, we don't know the background, whether it is some sort of a vengeance or what. Let them find out. Let them find out the truth, and if they are guilty, why not hand them over to the police? And thank God for the social media. Yes.
So you believe that the church should actually hand over this case to the police rather than just doing its own internal investigation, which has now seemingly gone on for a month and a half at least?
Knowing the church myself, I don't think church will ever try to defend such culprits. And the systems are so strict. I don't know what the picture others have, whether it is the Christian priests or any priests of any religious faith. You know, priests, people have an expectation. And if these people start doing these things, you know, what is the difference then between a common person and a priest? So, if
but
that
you
has
say
happened,
that,
but let
you
it
say
be
that,
proved.
Reverend, you say that, but in 2013, Father Arokya Raj, who was a priest with the church in Palakkad, had allegedly raped and killed a 17-year-old girl. And he confessed to this crime, and he was dismissed from the church, but the incident was never reported to the police. I know you say that the church will never defend those who are guilty of such crimes, but we've also seen the case of 2005 where the Diocese of Crookston in Minnesota got an anonymous complaint. And we know what happened. That priest came running to India. The case went on for years and years together. In February 2016, after he had been found guilty, in February 2016, the Uttakaman Diocese in Tamil Nadu confirmed that the church was not averse to allotting a role to the same father. So if the fathers who've been found guilty and convicted of crimes are still being put in places which are so critical to the faith, then questions will be asked.
See, that the thing is, once the inquiry starts, you will be able to link one incident with the other. So let the inquest start, let them find out. You're talking about one case, maybe there are many, you don't know. You understand? So let's have patience, let's believe in the system. And I'm sure if there be certain people who have been protected, if this was the culture prevalent, it's a very shameful thing for the church. But I'm sure that's not the case. Church has her integrity, and these are remote, isolated cases, and this is where we have to really rectify things. But let's believe what the inquiry report is going to come. Let's believe that.
No, because on that point,
and,
I'm going to go
I'm
back
sure,
to
as I told
Megha. Yes.
Once the inquiry...
Megha Warrior is a journalist with the News Minute, and she was just telling us that
sorry.
The priests haven't even really been suspended. They've just been sent on leave. Megha, can you also one more time tell us, what you have found in your conversations with those who are linked to this case? Because the husband clearly says that the church isn't acting fast enough.
We believe the husband,
Clearly,
we
the
believe
church has not reacted fast enough, even though they maintain that an inquiry committee was immediately set up after they received the complaint from the husband. But then, was any concrete action taken?
Yeah, that's the maximum they can do.
Because when they did take an action, they actually asked the accused priest to go on leave. And there was no disciplinary action taken. There was no other action taken except for asking them to go on leave. So is this a privilege? We don't know. So can we call that a disciplinary action?
I
doubt.
Okay, so let Reverend Sunil
I'm sorry.
respond.
First of all, your voice is very unclear. So I'm hardly able to get. What I believe, what I can gather is, you're talking about certain cases where inquiries have not helped. Isn't that what you're saying?
No, no. We're actually telling you that in this specific case, the husband has also said that the investigation by the church is moving very slowly, and that he's given all the evidence that is needed, but no action is being taken. And we found out, and Megha Warrior of the News Minute has found that the priests haven't really been suspended. They've just been sent on leave. Should stricter action be taken right now, Reverend? That's the question.
See, I don't represent that church, but the thing is, knowing the church at large, I know if the person is guilty, there is certainly going to be an action. But is this, we have to ask, is this an area for the church to inquire? Or is it the relevant authorities, say the police or other departments, who should be investigating? And if they are clear about it, let them have a clean chit. But the thing is, let's trust the inquiry, the procedure churches, and I'm sure they're not going to...
No, but that's as far as the investigation is concerned, yes, Reverend, but sending them on leave, is that the best that the church can do right now?
See, first step. Priests are at the most defrocked, okay? So since they have been suspended, pending inquiry, let us wait. And I'm sure, let's trust the system, something must be done. And if they have done this, certainly they are not going to be preaching from the pulpit, and people will never be able to accept them. So a priest is a recognized person, in the community, whom people believe. But if they have lost their trust...
Yes.
Sorry?
Yes, just 1 minute. Rahul Ishwar wanted to make a point to what you're saying. Yes.
See, let us be realistic about this. Great leaders, spiritual leaders like Pope Francis has always shown us the way, where he apologized for many sins of the past regarding some abuses. And personally, if I can quote, my own uncle had a similar kind of an incident where my grandfather took a bold decision so that he should step down first, similar to what a leave is. Then an investigation should be there. See, in reality, things don't happen as fast in movies. There is a due process, there is a hearing of both sides, there may be nuances, there may be slightly different various versions of the story. So I think what the church did, as a beginning was very good. At the end of the day, the law of the land should take place. And I belong to spiritual lineages, and we believe in spirituality, whether it be Hindu, Christian or Muslim, we should be extra careful. We should be showing people right way. We should be the role models, and even 1% bad coins among us will demean our faith. And we should be extra careful. And such incidents should be highlighted. And I thank media for highlighting, because even 1%, if police is wrong, if lawyers is wrong, if doctors are wrong, they are all bad for the society. But if spirituality is wrong, that hurts the very soul. So I think, and Orthodox Sabha, I personally know, they are such a wonderful church in Kerala, centuries of legacy. They have taken a right step, but my only request to eminent journalists like Faya will be, we cannot have a very feministic kind of fast approach in this. We have to go very sensitively. It's a very deep issue. It hurts people's sensitivities. So you have to get people along and go in a very slow and steady manner.
Well, Rahul Faye isn't here, but I will for sure pass on your message to her. She's on leave right now. But I just want to read out what a part of the transcript of this audio clip that Megha was also referring to. This is the audio clip that first came out. This is allegedly a conversation between the husband of the victim and a priest. And he says a priest had blackmailed her and taken her to hotel. Till now, I haven't checked my wife's phone or doubted her at all. I asked her to tell me everything. From what she told me, at least 8 priests have used her for their pleasure. It all started with a priest staying near her home who sexually abused her before marriage, and he started blackmailing her after that. After marriage, she confessed everything to another priest, and then he started blackmailing her, saying that he would tell the husband what was going on and what she had told the priest in a confession box, and started to use this against her. Now, if what people say in a confession box gets used against them again and again, and just think of that woman's state of mind. She was being blackmailed that this would be told to her husband, that this would be revealed to the society, so you better go ahead with what we ask of you. What can be done in such cases? Jamin Andrews, thank you for speaking and joining us here on Mirror Now. Is this a case where the police can stand up by itself and say, no, we are going to look into this case even if an official complaint is not made by the victim or her family?
See, in the discussion, we are all missing one very important point, including your reporter. She has not gone into in a case of sexual harassment or sexual crime, the prime issue is of the victim. We are not talking about the issue of victim. So, where is what is the status of victim is a very important thing. Here, there is no complaint from the victim so far. What I could gather. Your reporter can correct it.
No, so that's what I said. There is no complaint from the victim, and so legally speaking, what is it that the state and the police can do?
So see, there is. So I will tell you. This she is a major. She is a major. Of course the sexual the allegation. If we are taking the allegation is true, it is a consensual sex. But there is a crime. If it is by coercion, etc., it can be a crime. But that has to come from her mouth. So see, the police, the prime issue is that why that man, even the husband, he got a complaint. He can also complain. No.
Mr. Andrews,
why he is still continuing with the church authorities?
Mr. Andrews, if indeed these allegations are true, here is a woman who has given in to at least 5 to 6 different sexual predators who are also priests. If the allegations are true, she gave in to that blackmailing tactic.
I'm not saying.
Then you are expecting her to now come out on what grounds? What are we giving to her as any kind of strength or assurance that she should stand up and speak about it?
See an FIR.
If she had the strength in her to file an FIR to speak to the world about this issue, she would have probably done it a long time ago instead of again and again falling into this trap.
See, let me explain first. You are to listen for a minute. Otherwise, we will not be anywhere. But we can, these kind of issues we cannot simply take it as on grave. No, there is no complaint before the police so far. No, it's true that anybody can complain. Even an official written complaint is received by with the church authorities, they can also forward. Even the husband can also complain. I don't have any quarrel over that. But the prime issue is that even if a case is such kind of FIR is registered or case is registered, the important aspect is that the stand of that woman will be the woman will be the most important aspect. So if she denies everything, then nothing is happened. Nothing. No police or state cannot proceed with any circumstances. So that is a very important aspect. So even either the husband or the church authorities who is having a written complaint or document what I gathered from the social media and as well as from the other news is, he has submitted some evidences also. That is what I am saying. Why he is hiding from the state? Why he cannot? He can go and submit. If his stand is very clear and he is he is really aggrieved on this aspect. He should being a citizen of India, his prime duty. Of course, he can trust his church. I don't have any quarrel. His prime duty to approach the police authorities. That has to be done. Then only the police will get on this. These are all happening in a secret.
No, I'm sorry. You just said anybody can go and file a complaint and get the action initiated. Now you are saying we have to wait for the victim or the husband. Can you legally tell us what is the law here? Can the police take suo motu cognizance? Why are we putting the onus on the husband or the victim right now?
No. In every cases, the victim need not go. That is true. I understand. We all.
So can we not cast aspersions on the victim or the husband without knowing the details and just talk about that? Just talk about what the law is. I don't understand. I don't understand, Kevin Matthew and Reverend Sunil, why the church is not going out of its way to convince these two that yes, while your faith in us is good and we are going to do what we can do, a criminal investigation done by the police is needed.
The husband is having information. The husband is,
Madam,
the husband is having information.
In agreement with the previous speakers,
yes.
See, it is,
Kevin Matthew
church
first
is only one party in the whole conundrum.
There is just a minute.
Yeah, the church is only one party in the conundrum, and there is the husband, there is the women, there is the state, there are other bodies, and any one of them could go to the police.
But church is also a larger party in the life of the believers. The job of any religious institution is to guide people down the right path.
The husband has come out of national media, so
not to turn away and say this is not our job.
Police station.
What is the no? I am saying the job of any religious institution, any religious leader is to guide the people down the right path.
To keep up its credence.
Reverend, do you not agree?
And
Reverend
Tanviji, just one more thing. Tanviji, just one more
Rahul,
thing.
1 minute. Rahul,
the
1 minute.
more important thing is ethical responsibility.
Yes. Reverend Sunil first, please.
Yeah. See, I heard two things. The sound is very bad. Never mind. One thing you said is that the church is not doing enough. I think church has done enough. They have suspended them and they are not performing any religious duties. The other gentleman, I'm sorry, I can't see. I don't have a TV before me and whatever. You just said husband complained. I mean, these are not our area. Let the inquiry take place. It is their, I mean, it's for them to decide who did not complain, whether neighbor. But the thing is, this news came more because of the social media. That's what the brief I have. So it's not that something is hidden. Let the church come out clean. And if you say church hasn't done enough, I don't believe that. Church has suspended them. It is pending inquiry. And we still have to find out the background, under what circumstances this took place. So let's believe the system. Let's have patience. Things will come out.
I know you're saying believe the system.
The church has to come out clean.
And I'm sure the believers will. But Reverend Sunil,
and Tanviji,
no,
Tanviji,
yes, Rahul Ishwar.
Sorry.
Yeah, Tanviji, just two lines. One, we have to differentiate between ethical responsibility and legal responsibility. Tanviji, just one line. Father, just one line. You know, we have to differentiate between ethical responsibility and legal responsibility. And the church from their side, like you pointed out earlier, has a responsibility to guide their people, or any religion or faith for that matter, has a responsibility, and church is doing that. But the more important part right now is up to the police, up to the court. Many people can take suo motu action. We have a very strong women's commission. We have a youth commission. So many stakeholders can intervene. So this is an opportunity, like Tanviji rightly said, that the believers should be treated with sensitivity, because this is not like a normal person who is in this. There might be different
and that is very, very essential right now. That is very, very essential right now, because I will also read out another excerpt from that audio clip, alleged audio clip of the husband, where he says, I thought to go and meet The bishop, but everyone I consulted is saying bishop will maximum give 6 months of suspension as punishment. I want to ask them from the church itself. Now all those involved know. Yesterday one of those called me and started to cry over the phone. Most of them are well connected with the church. Now when I'm actively pursuing the case, I am getting threats and some are trying to pacify and woe me. Even big celebrities are calling me, asking me to withdraw from the issue. So let's not be in this small cocoon, Rahul Ishwar, and pretend that when you come out with such serious allegations, there won't be people who try to hush it up.
True.
So whose responsibility is it? State?
There are chances.
So the state government? But we've seen enough examples right from Haryana to Rajasthan and Kerala in different cases where states and various police departments don't want to do this. Who will take on anything that has any sensitivity linked to religion?
I mean, two people really did their responsibility. One, church did their responsibility. I'm very thankful as a citizen that Indian media like yours is doing that responsibility, raising right questions. Yes, I concede. I am not, naive or blind enough to see that when powerful religious bodies are involved, people will be over touchy. They will be trying to getting favors back. Quid pro quo will be there. But since the media has raised it, now government can intervene, commissions can intervene, police can intervene, court can intervene, and different versions can intervene. So I think we should appreciate anybody, whether it be Hindu, Christian or Muslim, that they have taken a right step of sending them on leave or suspending them or temporarily removing them. This is the best they can do. Right now it is up for the other authorities because Indian law is supreme, and that law, like Kevin said or the Reverend Father said, I think they are the people who should take charge.
Okay, Shamina Shafiq is also with us, Secretary for All India Mahila Congress, and of course an ex-member of the National Commission for Women. Now, Shamina Shafiq, why do you think we've not seen the police take suo motu cognizance in this matter, or the state government really come out and take up this issue? We're talking about a case where there is a possibility that more than 5 priests took advantage of a vulnerable woman, blackmailed her on the basis of her confession, and then demanded sexual favors from her.
See, first of all, I think I need to clarify that I'm sitting here as an activist, Shamina Shafiq, former member of National Commission for Women. I'm not a spokesperson of any party, so I'll not be speaking on behalf of any party for that matter, one. The second thing is the point that you have raised right now. It is really very unfortunate that a woman is getting subjected to any such form of violence, sexual, within the periphery of a religious institution. Because we expect more sanity, we expect definitely much more sincerity from people and very high moral values from people who represent any such religious body. Now, the step that they have taken eventually, that they have suspended the people, I think right now the best thing, like the gentleman who was speaking before me said, the best thing that can be done right now is immediately, whether National Commission for Women or State Commission for Women, they should immediately act, they should immediately take cognizance of the issue, and they should ensure that the police works, because generally police succumbs to the pressure of either religious or political people. So, and we have seen this very often. Tanvi, you yourself mentioned, whether it is UP, whether it is Haryana, or for that matter any other place. So the best possible way out is going to be definitely Commission for Women, which can actually ensure that the police works with efficiency and does not succumb to any kind of pressure. One. The second thing is that the woman, I'm sure she must have gone through a lot of not just physical trauma but also mental and emotional trauma. What I mean is anybody even discussing that, or has anybody taken care of that? Because generally what happens is, such thing happens, we always talk about lawlessness, we talk about law, we talk about whether people are going to be, brought to book or not, but we least care for the woman who's been subjected and as to what kind of medical and other treatments she really wants. So I think that is something very important, because hundreds of cases I've seen wherein women are left for themselves to take care of, and no other institution for that matter takes care of the woman. So here I think again the Women Commission can very well do that. So they should be doing that. And the third, once again, very, very important thing, whether it is A religion, B religion, C religion, I think all religious leaders need to ensure and need to have proper, not just sensitization, but I would say very strong directives to all their people who are working in a position of power within the religious institution, that they dare not misuse their position to sort of subject to any women or any girl child to any such.
But that doesn't happen.
This is what we need to see.
Yes.
See, Tanvi, what happens is so what I'm trying to say is, today we are discussing this case. Tomorrow maybe there's some other woman getting subjected to another form of violence which she's not even able to have the courage to talk about.
Yes.
So can there be a mechanism? And these commissions can do it, or the Home Ministry can do it for that matter, or for that matter the religious leaders can do it. Why can't they actually find a directive kind of a thing for all, and continuously they need to be told? Because please don't forget, in this country, I mean, we are, today only the report came wherein we are, as far as crime against women is concerned, I mean, we are worse than some of the worst countries as far as crime against women and the data is concerned. We have deteriorated. That means no institution, no political mechanism, no government, no police, nobody is even thinking about that crime against women is a problem. And Tanvi, that is the problem, because they are not even considering it as a problem. They are not even sitting to find solutions. These are all knee-jerk reactions. Today we are discussing one case, tomorrow it's going to be another city, another case. What are we doing? We are flesh and bones, for heaven's sake. We women are flesh and bones. We are not animals. We need to be respected for our being. God has given us the same sensibilities and sensitivities as men. So they need to understand, and all the people sitting at helm of affairs, they need to wake up and they need to ensure that women are safe, whether it is a religious place or a public place or a political, for that matter, any place. I think that is something which we all need to reiterate.
And every time such a difficult case comes through, I find it appalling how people then immediately start questioning the actions of the victim, saying, why is the victim speaking up now? Why is the victim speaking up so late? Why isn't the victim going right to the front? Now the complaint, yes, Megha, I was actually going to come to you because this point was raised earlier as well about the lady, the survivor in this specific case. We understand that she's gone back home. Go ahead, you were saying something.
Yes, so see, it's a fact that we have not heard from the woman herself about any of this. So the complaint has come from her husband and not the woman herself. And in this, if this audio clipping is to be believed, the husband actually says that he sent his wife home. So we don't know what, sort of help she has received, if at all, because after everything happened, we don't know what sort of care she's got. Now, point number 2 is about the police complaint. Now, I'm not sure how right it is to put the onus of going to the cops on the victim herself. To begin with, the husband did not want to go to the cops. He wanted to approach the church, believing that the church would find a solution, that they would conduct an unbiased probe in this. But it has taken longer than expected, is what we understand. Now, when I spoke to the police today evening, they were of the opinion that there was no need for a suo motu case to be registered, because according to the police, the woman is an adult. She is not confined or under threat or anything, according to the police, and therefore there is nobody who is preventing her from filing a police complaint. In that circumstance, the police do not want to intervene themselves and take a complaint.
No, but that's a ridiculous excuse that the police seems to be giving us, because they don't want to get into such a sensitive issue. Yeah, I think that's a very ridiculous excuse that the police is giving us.
The same question needs to be put forth to the church as well. The written complaint by the husband was received by the church at least 2 months ago.
Yeah.
An internal committee is there. So why has the church themselves not approached the police? So when I spoke to a senior authority from the church today evening, he was of the opinion that this complaint does not warrant that they go to the cops. There is no need, is what this official responded to me, which is appalling. Yeah,
it is appalling. It is appalling, and I would take that to Kevin Matthew Sunny. Kevin Matthew Sunny, do you believe this complaint doesn't warrant taking it to the police, that the church shouldn't be guiding the family at this point of time? I don't know, but I hope that you as an association, the Kerala Christian Forum, can reach out to the survivor and ensure that she gets good counseling and guidance. If indeed what is being alleged and claimed is true, she's obviously gone through a lot of trauma, given into blackmailing from multiple priests. And nobody's asking her anything. The husband seems to believe she is also an accused in this case. She is equally part of it, and she has to be sent home. That's what his view is. And honestly, I'm very concerned about why he thinks like that.
See, in complete agreement with you on all counts except one. See, my only point here is, it is not only the church honors to take it to the cops. There are many different parties in which church is one, and the church has its due procedure whose merits and demerits can be discussed when we have further data. See, once the church comes out with what came out of its internal investigation, you can discuss the merits and demerits of the same. And
but can you, as a member of the Kerala Christian Forum, appeal to the church to ensure that at least that lady gets the right help, support system, guidance right now? That is the question that I am asking you. As a society, can we all start to do that? You can sit here and defend the church. I am just saying that the church can play a larger role, that Christian associations right now should be playing a larger role. If there is a husband who's sitting here and saying that my wife is also a part of this and an accused in this, I'm not too sure what must be done legally here. I have sent her home. Then I think there is something else that needs to be done. Do you agree with that, Kevin?
I agree with you on that point, that the woman needs all the support she can get, and me personally and we as an association will take all efforts that can be done from our part. But also to add, my freedom ends at the tip of your nose, not beyond that.
Right. So in November 2016, a woman based in Kozhikode registered a police complaint about a parish priest. She alleged that he had sexually harassed her, and that this happened when she contacted him, requesting him to pray for her daughter. She complained to the bishop at the Malabar Diocese of the Church of South India, showed him copies of the interactions with the priest, but she was not taken seriously. She claims she was in fact told at that point, find another church. If you have such a problem, find another church. The priest in question was briefly transferred, and then he came back within a month. I can give you more examples of our country and other parts of the world where priests are simply transferred from one church to the other. From one church to the other. I think it's a tried and tested model in United States and is now being also used in India. Just transfer the priest in question from one church to the other until the outrage dies and people forget about it, and then bring them back and give them important roles again. And these are very, very important roles, Reverend Sunil. We are expecting people to open up and reveal the darkest of their secrets and to ask for forgiveness, to really reveal the darkest of the secrets to these priests, and then for them to be taken advantage of. Do you think that there is a problem within the entire institution where we are taking this problem very easily, lightly, actually? Reverend Sunil.
See, I think if I correctly heard you, you said whether the bishop and others are aware. See, the whole of the country is aware now through your this television. And I'm sure besides the Bible, all bishops read newspapers. They know what's going on. And nobody will pretend as though that he or she doesn't know it. The thing is, we better be little patient. What all, that
No,
inquiry
Father,
will be
I'm
released.
asking you a larger question
So
right
that we
now.
must
Let me
wait
repeat
for.
it. Let me repeat it, Father.
Yeah.
I'm asking you a
What is it?
larger
I could
question
hardly-
right now, which is
Yeah, please,
that we have
please.
several instances. I gave 2 examples, and this is happening in many other parts where priests who are found guilty, who face allegations of sexual abuse or sexual crimes, are simply transferred from one church to the other, and that's about it. And sometimes they've even been brought back. I am saying, as religious institutions, do we take these allegations very lightly?
Oh, no, no, not at all. Not at all. You're wrong. These allegations are never taken lightly. They are serious. You see, church depends on the believers. If the faith in the church is lost, where will the church be? So please don't say that we take these allegations very lightly or transfer from here to there and dodge people. Not at all. Not at all.
In August 2016,
We are very
in August
strict.
2016,
And the church discipline.
a lady
yeah.
took on the church after an investigation into the murder of her 17-year-old daughter. This incident took place in Tamil Nadu. It revealed that church authorities were very much aware of her having been sexually assaulted. The teenager was sexually assaulted and then she was murdered. Her mother took up this issue with the church. The church at that point of time hid the information from the local authorities, did nothing about it.
Okay, well, whatever. Okay, no, I'm sorry, I'm not aware of this case you are mentioning, but did the police take action?
The police did.
When they saw
Much
that the church was
later,
hiding
much
something?
later. The police did
So
much
what
much
happened?
later. The other 2 examples that I told
What
you, the
happened?
churches just transferred the priest
No.
who came back within a month.
No.
In most cases, Reverend, police is not being brought in. People believe that the church, that their priest is going to give them
Okay.
justice, and that justice is not being given.
Oh, that's unfortunate. That's unfortunate if that has taken place. But are we trying to say that the church proved to be smarter than the police? The culprit is transferred and is preaching people. Is it so?
It's a well-known fact.
Was that allowed?
It's happened
Of
in
the
United
church?
States. It's happened in India. I can send you a list of cases, Reverend Sunil. I know you want to feign ignorance. If you choose to feign ignorance, that's really your choice. But this is not something new.
This is a very...
It's as old as the fact that we
remote
know
case.
that little children can be sexually abused, that women can be sexually abused, that men can be sexually abused by people who call themselves men of God, messengers of God. It happens in every religion, from Christianity to Hinduism and Islam, and this is the reality.
Fine.
Unfortunately, in many cases, I'm running out of time, guests, so thank you for joining us. Unfortunately, viewers, in most of these cases, we as believers refuse to see the reality. And we still have faith, thinking maybe justice will be done. The state and the police will not take action because this is too sensitive for them. This is too risky for them to get into a case that has religious connotations. So let's not do it. The police is all too glad nobody's coming to them to file a complaint. The religious institutions are all too glad that they can do some kind of a small punishment and get done away with this case. It's the victim that nobody is thinking about. It was hundreds of girls who've been rescued from various ashrams in our country that nobody thinks about. But people come jumping to the defense of those sadhu babas, saying, hey, don't attack our religion. It's the same thing that's happening right now. People want to defend the church. The problem is not the church. The problem is those individuals who are priests and are still indulging in such crimes. And those are the people who shouldn't be getting away. The problem is not that the religious institutions are not doing enough for the believers. The problem is that we try to protect those who are doing the wrong. And that is unacceptable. We hope in this case the Kerala government chief minister wakes up and ensures that there is a thorough police investigation. We don't even know what is the truth to these allegations, but they're very, very serious and disturbing allegations if indeed that has happened. And only the police can find out in an impartial probe what's taken place. Thank you so much for joining us.